Dear ones, I am Archangel Michael. Well done, starting a new week. Before the week starts, I'm going to give you one more task. As I already said, these tasks are not mandatory, anyone who wants to do it can do it. And for how many days and for how long? There is also nothing defined, they are just examples for you to make into habits. And little by little, each of these aspects that I put into the tasks, be done by you unconsciously, and you can become, little by little, better, more evolved people. So let's go, what will be today's task? It's a very simple task, very simple. You have already learned to rebalance your body with I am light. So today you are going to learn some important phrases, whether they are said all the time together or separately, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you say them. So here are 5 sentences, but you can create as many sentences as you want, as long as they have the same meaning, being affirmative sentences and starting with I am. So the 5 sentences I exemplify are, I am an evolved being. I am a healthy being. I am an extremely loving being. I am a victorious being. I am an enlightened being. So you can say these phrases all together, several times a day, once a day, separately, it doesn't matter. It is important that you repeat them whenever you remember, write it down, put it on the wall, every time you look at it, repeat it. But it's like I always say, my brothers, it's not repeating like a recorder, it's repeating with heart, it's repeating with confidence, with certainty in what you're saying. Believing in what you are saying, because if you don't believe it, nothing will help. Because she won't have the strength to bring back everything you deserve. Of course, as I already said here, words have power, if you speak without the feeling of your heart, that goes to the universe, yes, because you said so, but it goes at a very low intensity, it goes at a very low speed. Words are like that toy that you throw in the air and it comes back to your hand. So when you speak from the heart, it's as if you launch that sentence at an absurd speed, and it comes back with the same intensity returned by the universe. Now if you speak without heart, the speed is so low that it practically doesn't leave your hand, the sentence goes back and forth, without any result. Because you didn't put in what is necessary, which is feeling, which is trust, which is believing. Thinking at the level of particles, as Sananda already explained, it is as if you spoke, but did not give the necessary magnetism to the words, so that they attract the result in the universe. So, they will attract very little and you will have almost no results. Now if you speak from the heart, if you speak with confidence, there will be an immense magnetism and it will attract everything that corresponds to what you said, and it will be returned to you with the same intensity. So wake up, but speak from the heart. Well, task done, week started. As I said last week, this week I will talk a little about the complementary texts of the letters of Christ. There is nothing very new to comment here. Yes, there are some even more recent things that were said by Sananda, but some aspects are worth revisiting, commenting on again, and that's what I'll do. We will have 4 days this week, so I will divide the texts into 4 and we will comment each day. An important point, spoken by Sananda in the first text, is how your actions affect the planet. I don't think I need to say much, here we have to differentiate between actions actually done, and actions just thought or said. I have been telling you here that you are reaping everything you have sown over all these millennia, in relation to the planet. Everything that is happening is the result of what you did. Then many may think, but why this now? We've always had floods, we've always had heavy rain, but not like it is now. Of course, or you forgot that the process is all accelerated. I said it already. Everything is accelerated, so everything is happening faster, more often, and more intensely. But it is all the result of the disrespect you had towards Gaia. As I have already said here and will repeat, none of you are completely clean when it comes to actions against Gaia. Then many will think, no, but I've been taking care of Gaia since I was little. Very well, where are your other incarnations? Yes, I recognize that you did not have the necessary awareness to know how to treat the planet as it should be treated. This was part of your evolution. And then we will talk again about everything that has already been said here, influences, decisions. There is no point in going back over everything again. So in the aspects where you have actually physically provoked in your world, you are reaping. Furthermore, what is most important, which is what Sananda talks about, is exactly what you think through the ego. Everything you attract through your own egos. Then many will think, I can't understand how I can attract a tidal wave, for example. Let's give this example, it's very good. How do you attract the tidal wave? The entire population that lives in that place emanates feelings of disrespect, feelings of provocation against the marine environment. They fish excessively, without respect for the species, without respect for the cycles of nature, they use the sea as garbage. So that's what I say to you, my brothers, this doesn't happen because of a decision just by those who are here now. Remember, the egregore has been carried for a long time. This does not mean that everything you cause is what you created. No. This has been created over the millennia, by many incarnations of you and other people. This adds up, until one day the universe returns all this negative feeling that you released into the sea, in relation to that environment, in this case the sea. So, don't try to think in your third mind, what did you do to cause this? It wasn't just you, it was all these millennia that were already left behind, that were carrying all of this, and you received the return. A tidal wave is a force too strong to be carried by a single existence. This has been carried over millennia. In the same way as earthquakes, everything that happens is a result of your actions. Of course, your scientists have to explain that the earth is moving, that Gaia is fixing itself. It's nothing like that. Gaia is just returning the energy that you planted in herself. No, do not see Gaia as vengeful, because it is not a question of revenge. Because everything happens so that you learn, you provoke, and have the result. It is not Gaia who sends the result is what you caused. This doesn't seem very easy to understand, but one day you will understand, and begin to understand what is happening on the planet. Everything was caused by you, or rather, everything has been caused by you, for millennia and millennia, and now you are receiving the majority of the result. Because as the energies are accelerated, everything will happen quickly. This is a point. You have to be careful with everything you wish for, with everything you throw out into the universe. The second text, we can talk about an important part that I have also said here. You, as human beings, each of you has a soul. And due to the distortion of all the values that were placed in your minds, sex seemed to be the easiest to manipulate in your minds. So today you suffer from perversions, with totally violent attitudes, precisely because of the superiority of some over others, through sex. Why? Because, literally speaking, there is an invasion of one body into another. Their auras are almost like they dissolve into each other. So while you do this, you have a sexual relationship with a lot of love, both souls are elevated, because the feeling of love that comes from one, passes to the other, and that of the other passes to the one. Then their souls light up, when there is affection, when there is respect, when there is that desire to really be there because you love that other being. It is a moment of extreme joy for their souls, they shine with so much happiness. Then we will distort all of this. Like I said, there is an invasion. So let's make the woman a being totally without will, a totally harmless being, who can be used at the man's pleasure. This was done to reduce the strength that the female being has. Understand, I'm not talking about the soul, I'm talking about being, the female physical body. I'm not here to say that one is more powerful than the other, both are necessary for balance. I've already talked about it here, man has strength, the woman has softness. So no one is better than anyone else, not the man is better than the woman, and not the woman is better than the man. And you've got it all wrong, and you're constantly at war, because one has to overcome the other. Many men still think they can have their subservience, their annulment, from the woman. Then they rape her, because for them it is a moment of superiority, being able to invade the woman's body in a violent way. And what does this bring? Unfortunately, she receives all that load of hatred, of anger, from that being, who is supposedly so harmless to whom she is doing it, and who wants to demonstrate her superiority. And in the same way, when you have sexual intercourse without any involvement, do you not know a tenth, or a thousandth, of what that being is, what it carries in its soul, what it carries in its feelings, what it carries within its being? And then you have a completely uninvolved sexual relationship, one will exchange the energy of the other. If you're lucky, the other being an evolved being, a good being, with a good nature, will even get something good. But most of the time, these relationships happen through drinks, through drugs, through pleasure for the sake of pleasure. So the energy exchanged there is horrible, it is an energy of very low vibration, and you accumulate this in your bodies. There's no way not to do this, one invaded the other's body. It is not literally saying that the man invades the woman's body, not the woman also invades the man's body. So they both carry each other's energy. And I can extend this to couples, who often think that having sex erases all the hurt, erases everything bad that was said, erases all the ugly things that were said during a fight. Then the fight is over, show your love through sexual intercourse. And everything that was said, and everything that was felt, was erased? Look, if you are beings who really don't absorb anything the other person said, congratulations, then you're fine. Now at that moment you will let yourself be carried away, you will have that act to demonstrate that you still love that person, but the anger, the feeling, the hurt will be there, and it will also be exchanged. That feeling that is supposed to be love will be so small that when it ends there, you will feel horrible. Because it wasn't love that you exchanged hurt, you exchanged resentment, everything that was said that you haven't even absorbed yet, nor thought about. It's as if you tried to erase everything that was said, but that doesn't happen. What was said, it is in there, and you will remember it later. So this is where relationships between couples start to cool down, because that moment is no longer a moment full of love. It became a moment of exchange, a moment of just happening to say that you love, but that deep down it is nothing like that, so this will be undermined every day. So my brothers, what is the moral of this story? If you can have sexual intercourse, only when you effectively love the other, that would be the great asset in your life. This would be the great prize that your souls would effectively have, because everything that is different from this, you are only losing. Another point, which is very interesting, which is worth highlighting here, is when Sananda comments on condoms. Some religions condemn it, they think that contraception is frowned upon in the eyes of our Father or Mother God. So spreading diseases, having children at the wrong time, with people you don't even know who it was, often. Is this what our Father or Mother God wants? My brothers, what do you want? To have children to make them suffer? To have a miserable life? Because many even have the means to create, clap. But that child will often not even know who the father was, due to an oversight. Think about the child's future. Will she be happy not knowing who her father was? Many women nowadays shout from the rooftops, "I'm going to have my baby alone." Very good. Very good, who are you thinking about? In being the greatest, in being the phenomenal? Okay, you had your baby alone. And what will this child think in the future, when asked, "Mom, why don't I have a father? Who is my father? And what will you answer? That you didn't think it necessary for her to have a father, that you knew, because she has a father, but she won't know who she is. This will be good for her. Have you ever stopped to think about it? Or do you only think about yourself, about being the wonderful one, the perfect one, the one who can manage on her own? That's what I said, you are distorting everything in this war with men. Children have nothing to do with it. Every child needs a father and a mother. I'm not saying I need to live under the same roof, but the child has to know who the father is. Ah, the father is a bum, the father is this, the father is that. It doesn't matter, it's the father. So my brothers, be careful what you decide, be careful what you do. Children are not to blame for their mistakes. And that's what you do, you make children full of repression, full of trauma. Because by your decision, merely yours, she didn't ask for it. Did she ask? Did she ask to be born without a father? Did she ask to be born without ever knowing who the father was? And then I go back to talking about contraceptives. How irresponsible is it for you to think this is wrong? Apart from the diseases that you can catch, that spread in your environment, diseases that you created yourself. So, stop and think, my brothers, those who go forward, preach in churches, in services, in synagogues, in temples, it is a human, it is not a divine representative that is there, it is a human. He puts there what he understood, from the religious book, which was written by other men, from the divine word. So who said he is 100% right, where is that written? Do any of them have any document signed by our Father or Mother God that he would be a representative of his word? So, let's stop being that animal that lowers its head for everything. You have a conscience, you have a head, you have a brain, think, don't act based on other people's heads, think with your own conscience. You let yourself be led by the opinions of others. And then I ask, the one who goes ahead and says that contraceptives are wrong, if you get pregnant tomorrow, will it help you? Will he help you raise this child? Of course not. So stop and think with your own consciences. No one is a representative of the divine, there is a man, who was taught to repeat what someone understood, from the words that were said. Just that. What if he got it wrong? Poor you, if you follow exactly what he is saying. In text number 3, Sananda comments on the existence of a God. First, your religions imposed on you a vengeful God, a punitive God, where they always used the word, or rather, they always blamed everything bad that happened in their lives on the divine, for their own actions. So it was a way to keep them under control. Everything that exists, there is no machine connected to you, you are not connected to an outlet, so that you can live. Where does this force that keeps your body working come from? What keeps the animals functioning, all of nature functioning? Where does this all come from? From a divine force, which is within each one of you. When this spark goes out, you lose this physical body, your soul detaches from this clothing. So what keeps you alive is the divine spark. It's as if she were a big machine giving them energy to live. So how can we not believe that there is energy within each thing proportionally, to keep the entire universe alive? Everything comes from him, from the divine consciousness. So don't doubt that there is a much greater force, or you wouldn't stay alive all the time, you would have to recharge somewhere, because inside there would be a battery, if you didn't recharge yourself you would die. But nobody does that. You stay alive, breathing, your body's functioning, while you sleep. So it's not a conscious thing, either. Everything is prepared to work alone, without the interference of your brain, your conscience. So do not doubt that there is a much greater consciousness, that there is a much greater force and that you are part of this force. When we say that you are powerful, that if you believe, that if you really emanate into the universe what you desire, you have the ability to co-create. That's exactly why, because you have this divine spark within you. You just need to believe in what you want, you just need to constantly emanate to the universe what you want, and the universe will give it back to you. Because this is the law of action and reaction. So my brothers, do not doubt that there is something very strong that manages this entire universe, that manages everything that is within it. Don't try to imagine what this force is, don't try, because you don't have the basis to understand what it is, how it is, and for what purpose. All I need to do is tell you that you believe, that you have this divine force with all the power inside, you just need to want it. Our Father or Mother God gives power, in proportion to the size of the role of each of you, of each of us. If I have the power I have, it was He who proportionally gave me an immense spark, so that I can do everything I do. You are incarnated beings, so the spark is smaller, the power of each being in this universe is proportional to their divine spark. So yours is small, very small, compared to mine for example. But you all have this spark, regardless of the path you choose to follow, because it is what gives life, what gives you the energy to move forward. In the fourth text, Sananda comments on what you supposedly think you need to go through, that old concept of suffering. Because it was once said that Sananda, Christ, suffered on the cross to save you. So you have to suffer too, you have to have a painful life so that you can evolve. For those who don't suffer, that one is no good, he doesn't try hard for anything, everything is easy in his hands. Oh, that one over there can't be anything good, he must be a horrible person. Why? Why does he have the ability to attract everything he needs? Why does he have the ability to have a comfortable life? Why does he believe that he doesn't need to suffer to evolve? He is right, you are wrong. So when you have a problem, what do? You sink into it. I have a problem. And then you cry, you kick, you spend all your time focusing on the problem. Instead of thinking, asking the universe for a solution. Well, I have this universe problem. And then show me a solution, I want a solution. I will find the solution to this problem. Look at the difference. You didn't martyr yourself, you didn't wallow in the problem. It's just like you're standing on the edge of a mud hole, and then you have a problem, and what do? You sink into the mud to suffer, to have difficulty getting out of the problem, and then you keep trying there, you try, you cry, you scream, and you sink deeper and deeper into the mud. Because you are experiencing that problem, so you must be suffering a lot. Many times, you sink and stay there, they never get out of the problem, because he has sunk so deep that he can no longer get out, he has internalized the problem. And many don't, many are sitting on the edge with the problem in hand, and what do? They get up. Well, the problem is here, now I want a solution. And I will find that solution. And I know she will be good to me. Now you left that puddle of mud, you made another decision. Another practice that you have very common is anticipating problems. In the same way, oh, my marriage is bad. I think I'm going to break up. And then he gets into the mud puddle, and then he suffers, he starts crying. He cries every day in front of the other person, to see if it moves him. Self-love is there, deep in the mud. And you there, sinking deeper and deeper, suffering, martyring yourself, so that the other person will feel sorry. Because that's what he will have of you, pity. To see you all covered in mud, he will feel sorry, or she will feel sorry, for an anticipation. That's the worst. There was nothing, no one said anything, no one discussed or reached a conclusion. You found this and began to suffer. So, do you know what will happen? That other person will get tired of having such a dirty being by their side. And then really, he will separate from you, or she will separate from you. Because you didn't have self-love, you weren't able to sit down and talk. That was all the other wanted. Just talk. But you've already made a decision, it's going to end. It's really, you're done, you've declared the end of your relationship. So, stop suffering in advance. If you have a problem, give the solution to the universe, don't suffer in advance. Understand, often, what you think, that it is a bad thing, it is a new path, that the universe is showing, much better than that one. So believe, hand it over to the universe and ask for whatever is best for you to happen. Don't suffer in anticipation. If you think that something is going to happen there, say it to the universe, show me the path, which I should follow and what is best for me to happen. Ready? Self-love, sky high. Trust in the universe, in the heights. And you will definitely have your solution. So my brothers, stop acting like poor things. You really like it when others feel sorry for you. What a horrible feeling. What a horrible feeling, for you to do so, for others to feel sorry for you. You are strong, you are powerful, you have self-love. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Change, do wherever you change. Ask the universe to show you how to change. Because, everything you ask for with feeling, the universe returns. This is the great maxim, this is the moral of the story, you reap what you sow. So if you are planting, requesting a solution, the universe will send it. Now, if you are reaping suffering, you are reaping pity. What will the universe send? More suffering, more pity. Please understand this. Stop acting like poor things. Stop acting inferior. Because no one is inferior, and no one is superior to anyone. You are all equal, regardless of class, color, wisdom, it doesn't matter. You are all souls, pieces of our Father or Mother God. So, everyone is equal. The paths you take are different. So, don't feel inferior or superior to anyone. Tomorrow, we will continue talking about the other texts. I am Archangel Michael. I am here, my brothers, every day, trying to open your mind and understanding more and more.